Hi friends, it's Marie here again with some more Tim Holtz and Sizzix dies, and these are Christmas themed and they're really pretty, and I'm really excited to show you how I created with some of these. So we have the Vault Festive Wreath, the Vault Holiday Classic, and the Vault Seasonal Sketch. And these are just full of lots of elements that you can mix and match to create some Christmas cards and tags. I've already been playing around with them and I've made a few cards here. And there's one design of card that I've already created, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how that can kind of translate onto a gift tag. So this first card here, I'm showing you I used some of those pieces there. This second card, I actually used the letters to make a background and then embellished with those really gorgeous flowers there. I thought that was fun, and I love getting alphabets because you can do anything you want with them. And this last set is really the one that we're primarily going to be using today. I've made a few cards already because I absolutely love this wreath. It just feels so cozy Christmas to me. And I'm going to kind of copy the design that you see here and put it onto a tag. So I've gone ahead and I've cut out all of these pieces, and to save time, I've also gone ahead and colored them using my Distress Oxides. I like to choose all of my colors beforehand and just go ahead and ink them all up quickly. This way I can cut out all of the pieces with plain white cardstock, just cut a ton of them and then color them later. So I don't have to worry about switching back and forth between colored cardstocks. I can just use the white and then use my inks. I wanted to show you how I'm assembling a few of these pieces, especially the candlestick. It is not hard at all to figure out how these pieces go. One thing that I really appreciate with the dies is all of the layering pieces are typically on the same die. So if you get pieces that are supposed to layer together, they're going to be cut out together. So that is true of this candlestick here, and that is true of some of those floral pieces. Now this candlestick, you can layer it however you want, but that one candle in the front, I decided to pop up on some foam adhesive, so it kind of gives you that illusion of two candles kind of in front of each other. It gives it a little bit more dimension. Now you don't have to do that, you don't have to get fancy or anything, you can just layer it as is, but it's always fun to add a little something extra, and I love foam adhesive for that. I'm also just kind of layering on these little wax strips here, and I did give it a little bit of ink blending. I think the color that I used for the candles was actually old paper. It gives it that sort of antique-y look where it's still a white candle, but it's got a little bit more of a vintage feel to it. And you can layer those little wax strips just on top of each other, and I just think this candle is gorgeous. I love having the option to put a candle in the middle of your wreath, which really inspired the cards that you saw in the beginning. I want it to look like it had a candle glow in the background of that window, and so those are becoming some of my favorite Christmas cards that I've made so far this year. Now I'm using this little Noel sentiment from a separate set that I showed you in the beginning. This does not come with the wreath set, but these sentiments go so well with each other, and I just love that Noel. And I'm cutting it out of black cardstock because I think it goes well with the overall theme, and it kind of gives it a silhouette look against the candlesticks. Now, like I mentioned, I am making a tag today, so I'm using the Scrapbook.com Yay Tag set. You can cut out this tag, and it also cuts out that little circle piece that you can put around that little hole on top of the tag, just to make it look a little bit more finished. Now, you can always grab pre-made tags if you want, but this die set is handy because I've used it on lots of different ways. Now, to make the background, this really gorgeous red background, I am using, I believe it's candied apple, aged mahogany, and then some walnut stain. So I've got a bright red, a dark red, and then a brown color. And I'm just speeding up the video here because ink blending does take a little bit of time. I like to grab about 3 different colors and then go back and forth. I usually start with my lightest color and then add on my darker colors, because you can always make it darker. It's a little bit harder to make it lighter. So I start light and I go as dark as I feel like I need to. And then once I've got the darkest color on, sometimes I like to go back with that lightest color and just blend it all out and make it a little bit smooth. So there is my ink blending. I think it looks gorgeous. And just to let you know, I did let all of that ink and that tag sit overnight, so it is completely dry. Because this next step, I'm going to add some of the Scrapbook.com rub-on transfers. And these are some of those vintage scripts, and it's got some of that music there that I just thought went so well with Christmas. I absolutely love all of the Christmas hymns, and so the Noel along with the music notes just makes me think of all the Christmas music for the season. So I've already used this sheet of rub-ons on my card, as you can tell. So I'm using some of the different areas and not putting the whole sheet on. I'm just selecting different areas to rub onto my tag. Now, I'm not concerned about this looking perfect. I like sort of that vintage look, and I like the idea of some of these rub-ons being covered by my wreath that I'm going to put on top of it. I am going to be layering more things on top of it. So I am just picking out random areas on this transfer sheet and just using my popsicle stick to rub it on and fill in different areas. But if you want more of a precise placement for your rub-ons, you can trim it out of that rub-on sheet and put it on your card, so you're only going to get what you want on your card. So there's all the rub-ons, and I am ready now to start putting all of my wreath pieces in place. And you can see that the wreath isn't going to fit the whole tag, and it's going to hang off the bottom a little bit, but I like that look. I think it looks great, so we're going to go with it. I just glued it on, and then I flipped over my tag and trimmed it from the back. And now I'm going to start layering my sentiment and all of my greenery on. Now, here's a good tip for you. If you don't know how to arrange your wreath, just look at the picture on the Tim Holtz packaging. I think that wreath on the picture looks fabulous, and I did pretty much copy it for most of it. And that can give you sort of a template to get started on your layering, and you can add more if you want, or you can take away, or you can change up placements. But I think it gives you a really good idea of how to start layering your wreath. Now, as a finishing touch, I'm taking one of these gold glitter pens, and I've squirted a little bit out into my little ceramic dish over here. I like to keep a lot of these random little dishes handy in my crafting desk, just for these purposes of putting different mediums on it, and I'm just splattering it around. I'm trying to keep the splatters kind of around the wreath so it looks like a glow. And then, of course, being a tag, I'm going to take some string or some twine and add it on the top, and that finishes my tag. Now, for the cards, I did cut out a window, and I popped up the front panel with some foam adhesive, and I put a little bit of ink blending in the background to make it look like a candle glow. So that's how I did the card, but the same colors were used for the background and all of the same pieces from the die sets. So I hope you enjoyed this look at these Tim Holtz and Sizzix die sets. I think they're perfect for Christmas. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of inspiration to get started crafting. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!